China is the fastest growing nation in history, and the US must now stop it. China's hypersonic missiles are currently the most unstoppable missiles in the world. They travel faster than the eye can see, and more importantly, faster than American defenses can intercept. With such missiles, China could take out any American target it's in the mood to destroy, and judging by the fact that they have full-size American aircraft carrier mockups for target practice, America's single most powerful military asset, the $13 billion USS Ford Supercarrier, might be in danger. In light of this, the US will now respond by building, developing, and fielding the one weapon faster and more lethal than hypersonic missiles: laser weapons. And here's how that works. Lasers are a form of light energy. The word laser stands for light amplification by stimulated emission of radiation. The invisible energy in this emitted radiation, once high enough and focused, can burn through a target from miles away at a speed of approximately 300 million meters per second, the speed of light, the fastest thing in the universe. As a result, no drone, mortar, or fighter can outrun the certain destruction promised by the laser of high-energy laser weapons. Lasers are immune to challenges faced by kinetic weapons, such as wind and gravity. Therefore, the weapon, without the need to expend energy on these external factors, operates efficiently, and for extremely long periods too. A laser weapon can fire constantly for as long as it is connected to a power source. It has a truly infinite magazine. To top off these perks, after acquiring a laser weapon, firing it and exploiting its capabilities come at a cost so wallet-friendly it's as low as a cup of coffee. All of these and more are why the most powerful militaries in the world are in a high-speed race for laser weapon dominance. At this point, it's clear that there's been a resurgence of the race to develop advanced laser weapons, and that hypersonic weapons development had a lot to do with it. Hypersonic missiles are highly maneuverable missiles that can travel at Mach 5 speeds and above, which means they can cover a mile every second. No air defense projectile in the US, Russia, and China can travel that fast. Yet all three nations are working on hypersonic missiles, and therefore all three nations are vulnerable to them. Laser weapons could put an end to this vulnerability, and thus all three nations are investing heavily in them. China has announced plans to equip its J-20 stealth fighter with laser weapons, which could significantly enhance its air-to-air capabilities, and of course, potentially provide defense against hypersonic threats. Chinese military expert Wang Mingliang mentioned in an interview that along with an optionally manned capability and the ability to command drone swarms, the J-20 could be equipped with laser weapons. The requirements for such a weapon were announced in 2020, although China has been developing laser weapons since the 1990s, with the proof residing in various systems like the ZM-87, which could take out or disable enemy personnel from over 9 kilometers away. Russia began working on laser weapons even earlier. Dating as far back as the 1970s, Russia had always had plans to use an aircraft-mounted laser as an anti-satellite weapon. Tests with a modified Beriev A-60 aircraft began in 1981, and after a long delay, the project was revived in 2003 under the name Sokol Echelon. From this, the 1LK-222 laser system was developed for the A-60, for which tests began back in 2009. In 2016, former Russian Deputy Defense Minister Yuri Borisov stated in an interview that work to improve the A-60's tactical and technical aspects was underway, and that ground and flight tests of the weapon were ongoing. Today, the program is undergoing heavy modernization processes to help Russia get to the ribbon in the race to hypersonic weapons. However, the US might already have that ribbon in its sights. Every major American weapons manufacturer, Boeing, Lockheed Martin, Northrop Grumman, has been contracted by the U.S. Army, Navy, and Air Force to develop multiple powerful and compact laser systems that can be deployed by warships, tanks, and aircraft. Promising results were coming in from as far back as 2002 with the groundbreaking YAL-1A airborne laser. Mounted on a modified Boeing 747-400F, the YAL-1A was designed to shoot down tactical ballistic missiles during their powered boost flight phase. However, the program was canceled in 2011 due to cost overruns and design limitations, as the laser required bulky equipment and massive amounts of power to overcome atmospheric distortion over long distances. Despite this setback, the U.S. is now re-exploring the concept of airborne laser weapons with not one, but at least two projects. These include the Tactical Airborne Laser System project with Lockheed Martin aiming to mount a laser weapon on a fighter jet in 2023, and the more headline-making Self-Protect High-Energy Laser Demonstrator project, or SHIELD for short. SHIELD is being developed by Lockheed Martin, Boeing, and Raytheon Technologies, all working together. It's clear that this time, the U.S. is going all out to bring to reality an American laser fighter jet. Laser weapons could mean the end of dogfights. Pilots would simply focus on having the first shot from miles away because there are high chances that the first shot would be a kill shot. This invincibility is one reason why air forces and defense contractors alike are prioritizing laser weapons on aircraft and even in the concept art of the American 6th-generation fighter released to the public. The 6th-generation fighter is being developed under the Next Generation Air Dominance Program, or NGAD for short. NGAD is beyond just a fighter development program, though. It is the U.S.'s effort towards fielding a next-generation family of systems that revolve around the manned 6th-generation fighter. Many concept artworks have been released depicting what this fighter could look like and the capabilities it would have. These artworks usually point towards the fighter having a stealthy tailless design that incorporates a diamond-shaped wing with straight leading and trailing edges. The wing is closely blended with an elongated fuselage that features a single prominent chine line and tapers sharply toward the nose. And most importantly, the fighter would wield new advanced sensors, engines, networking, and battle management capabilities and weapons. One of these weapons is the SHIELD mentioned earlier. SHIELD is a laser weapon whose contract was issued in 2017 for development by 3 of the world's prominent defense contractors. The goal is to design, develop, and deliver to the Air Force a laser weapon that can be fitted on fighter jets. Northrop Grumman would deliver the weapon's beam control system, Boeing would deliver the pod subsystem that mounts other components from Northrop Grumman and Lockheed Martin to the aircraft's underside, and Lockheed Martin would deliver the laser itself. This laser is known as LANCE, meaning Laser Advancements for Next-Generation Compact Environments. Lockheed Martin received $26.3 million in funding from the Air Force for LANCE. The company's specialization in laser weapon development for the last 40 years, particularly with essential advancements such as precision pointing and control, line-of-sight stabilization, and adaptive optics, made them the perfect pick to develop the most decisive component of the SHIELD laser weapon. They hit the ground running, announcing on July 11, 2022 that they had secretly delivered LANCE to the Air Force 5 months prior, in February 2022. The company also announced that LANCE in many ways leverages technology building blocks from internal research and development projects, including the Army's Robust Electric Laser Initiative, or RELI program. This implies that LANCE could be a 60,000-watt class laser weapon, or a scaled-up version of it. According to Lockheed Martin executive Tyler Griffin, LANCE is the smallest, lightest, high-energy laser of its power class that the company has ever built. At this stage, it's uncertain what list of aircraft LANCE is intended to equip. Lockheed Martin has, however, released concept art that shows the pod being wielded by an F-16 fighter jet, hinting the fighter is a likely candidate from already existing aircraft. Of future aircraft under development, the NGAD fighter is quite certainly the prime candidate. Both Lockheed Martin and Northrop Grumman, 2 companies working on the SHIELD, have released concept artwork of the 6th-generation fighter, and in the case of Northrop Grumman artwork, the fighter was using a laser shot to take out an airborne threat. And although the concept art from Lockheed Martin doesn't show a similar laser shot, it does share enough similarities with the art from Northrop Grumman to indicate that the artworks from both companies simply focus on different things, but indeed feature the same fighter with the same capabilities, from a stealthy design to advanced internal weapons and everything in between. Such a fighter is what the U.S. would need to address the Chinese threat that has lasted decades and grown into one that wields the most unstoppable type of missiles in history. On achieving that milestone, one thing still stands in the way of China's military dominance, and that is a fleet of invincible American laser weapons on fighter jets. And according to experts, what these weapons